It rained most of this week, so I had Aries work on accepting the bit and yielding to it. We started by working on lowering his head. Aries has developed some pretty good knots in his neck from being tense since his roundup. Every day I try to work on those to make him more comfortable. We are still working on bridling. I ask him to lower his head and stay lowered, just as I do with haltering. Anytime his head is up, he's adding to his anxiety and creating more tension in his head and neck and back. Some days are better than others. Before working on softening to the bit, I let Aries get warmed up. Here I am asking Aries to give to the bit. I have the offside rein over his neck and am holding it with my right hand. My left hand takes the near side rein and pulls it up. This configuration acts on the corners of Aries' mouth rather than on his jawbone. When learning how to give to a bit, Michael Schaefer recommends this configuration. As always, everything from both sides. In addition to softening to the bit, I also want Aries to yield to it. So I ask him to bring his head around when he feels pressure from the bit. is a closer view of what I am doing when I ask Aries to soften. I am putting pressure on the corners of his mouth, waiting for him to relax and give to it. Today, I really didn't have a plan, but Aries ended up providing me with something to work on. We started by doing some softening exercises. I am still working on those knots. He still trots in an inverted position, so until he learns to carry himself a little better, those knots in his neck won't really resolve. We did our standard warm-up of yielding the front and hind end and lunging. Then I thought, let's see how that canter is doing. To the right, Aries would pick up the canter along the rail, but would fall out of it as soon as he reached the open side of the ring. But to the left, I got a full circle of cantering, even across the open side of the arena. I immediately asked him to stop and told him he was awesome. We sat there for a few minutes, letting him digest his accomplishment. Aries tried his evasion of running out on the circle. He did manage to get away from me a couple of times during the course of our lesson. I have to come up with a better solution before he gets the idea he can always just leave when he doesn't feel like doing what's asked of him. We took a couple of walk breaks so we could both catch our breath. Aries is still holding back a piece of himself, not wanting to give over leadership fully. I can't blame him. He was in charge of everything in his whole life, for years. It must be immensely difficult for him to put his trust in someone else, let alone a human. He is making steady progress, but that last little piece still eludes me. Shortly after our morning session, Aries guided his first trail ride. It was a short 30-minute ride, but I felt it would be a good walk cool down for him. It dawned on me, not even 1 year ago, this horse was wild, had been living free for 11 years, and now I was riding him. What a change for this horse to have made in 1 short year of life. I am both humbled and honored to have been a part of it.